That's about it.
Doesn't.
No more added comment to that.
Coach, it feels like you'd have to squint and just barely make something out to see the Patriots as underdogs in any playoff game. That's just the way it feels.
Not at this desk. I mean, I've been sitting here all season with the champion of the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They're an extreme underdog in your eyes, I'm sure, right?
Don't get on the plane, Coach.
They're playing on the road. They're playing Patrick Mahomes. They're playing that vaunted Chiefs offense. I mean, you probably are betting everything you have on this game.
Well, you are encouraging me to bet.
You
told me to put my money where my mouth is.
Based off of how strongly you feel about this team, push it all in. That's what I'm saying. Push it all in.
All right, so we don't have to rehash the who ended up if we want to revisit all our Patrick Mahomes discussions.
No, we should, because that's why they're underdogs.
Okay, well, they're underdogs because they're on the road. They're underdogs because they had a worse record.
True.
They're underdogs because, by most metrics, they are the slightly inferior team. Like, that's why. They're underdogs because in the last 10 combined AFC and NFC championship games, the home team is 10-0. Like, the Patriots should be just about 3-point underdogs, and they are just about 3-point underdogs. I find it a little rich that the New England Patriots, who have been favored leading into this week in 67 consecutive games, quarterbacked by Tom Brady, and have been underdogs in the playoffs once in the last 11 years, that they're playing the nobody believes in us card. But when for the better part of a decade, everyone has always believed in you, and now there are some people who have the gall to say, you know what? I think the 12-4 team at home is going to beat the 11-5 team on the road. This is the closest. They haven't been able to play this card, see, in 15 years, 16 years. They can now at least credibly a little bit play it, and Brady started it walking off the field. I know we suck and we can't win any games. We'll see. And now Julian Edelman is following in his footsteps.
It will always be a constant theme for Tom Brady, based on didn't have a great college career, got benched for another player. Coach liked another guy more than him. Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State, has developed himself into a pro, one of the best slot receivers on his own. Him and Brady, those two, there's no two closer on New England's team than Brady and Edelman. So, yes, they do have that underdog feel. They utilize it all the time. Now, as a team, the Patriots, no, they're not able to utilize it, but it's one of the low-hanging fruits for NFL, pro sports, high school. Old people disrespect you. Rodney Dangerfield, they don't have respect. Whatever you need to do to be able to get motivated, I know going onto the field, the Patriots will be thinking about this. If we don't play our best football, we will not win. If we don't play better than we've played on the road in our previous 8 road games, and especially that one in Miami that we saw late in the season where they lost a game in the totally not of the Patriot way, where they don't have the right personnel on the field. They got one guy to get tackled to end the game, and they got Rob Gronkowski chasing after a guy that I know if they could be put back in that situation, Gronk wouldn't be the guy chasing them to put him on the ground.
And by the way, if they win that game, this game's in Gillette.
And they're the favorite.
And they're the favorite. And you know what I mean? So that is, but do you, I know we joke a bit, but do you think I was or have been overreacting to the idea that this Pats team, of the Pats teams we've seen that have made 8 consecutive AFC championship games, this Pats team seems the weakest of the bunch? It's not just because they have the worst record of the bunch, the first one to lose 5 games, but because of their inability to win consistently on the road, the blowout losses on the road. So, the lack of real weaponry in the wide receiving core, do you think that's been unfair of me to say? Now it's comparing them against some great teams, but that this is the weakest Patriot team we've seen in the 2010s?
I feel like every year we go into the season and people talk about how it's the weakest Patriots team, or how Tom Brady is too old, he's all done. And remember with Jimmy Garoppolo, I think I was doing the herd, and Colin was talking about, well, you know, Garoppolo should be in there after Tom had like 1 or 2 bad games. They wanted to move on from him at that point. You know, and as you look throughout the course of the season, whether it's Josh Gordon, who's there and now he's gone, and the receiving core isn't what it was supposed to be. Like, I get why they view themselves as the underdog, and there's been a lot of people who've talked about their demise and how they shouldn't be where they are. So it makes sense why they're taking that approach.
Why do you think they're underdogs in this game? Forget being on the road.
Well, I do think that the matchup against this offense for anybody is incredibly challenging.
Yes.
You saw what Patrick Mahomes did in the second half of the game in Gillette. He made one mistake in the first half that really hurt the team, and hopefully he's learned from that. And they're explosive. They're explosive, and defensively, Kansas City is playing better. And New England hasn't played as well on the road as they have at home. So all those things come into play. And look, I think you should bet the gold chain that you have around your neck and
diamond chain, Coach.
And whatever other cash and put it in.
Well, all right, you worry about my personal finances at another day.
Well, I'm trying to help you.
Okay, I do remember us sitting here, and I was very surprised to hear it from you the day after that Pats-Chiefs game. And you said, if they play again, if they play in the playoffs in Kansas City, that Chiefs team can beat the Pats team, and you think would be favored to beat that Pats team. We are now getting that game, and that has been proven out to be true because you saw things in that game that made you more encouraged about Kansas City, a team we didn't know exactly who they were yet because it was so early in the season, than necessarily about New England, even though New England hung 43 on them and got the win.
I was very impressed with how New England was able with the red zone defense to slow them down early. But then after that, it was they just ran out of time. I mean, for them to be able to come back and have the lead late in the fourth quarter in that game, yes, it took him, because I know Belichick, he don't have an answer for that speed. I know the things that hurt the principles of that defense. And if Kansas City can run the football, it will terrify them because they are already committed to a certain number of people to coverage. All right? I'm not going to rush the passer. If I'm the Kelsey side, I'm going to jam him. If Kelsey's all the way outside the numbers, they had Hightower all the way outside the cavity of the defense to be able to jam him and then get back into coverage. Those types of things Bill Belichick hates to do, and they are facing that. And that quarterback, it's not the formations. That quarterback's ability to be able to make plays with his arms and ultimately with his legs, I believe that's how Kansas City has the edge. Kansas City should be the favorite. They're very, very talented, and some of the things that they do, they really hurt the principles of what New England would like to do.
All right, Coach, stick around. Got to take a break. Coming up, which Hall of Famer is comparing Nick Foles to Tom Brady?
It's not me.
The answer next on First Things First.
Not me.